In this episode, I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you grow your business. So, if your goal is to grow your business to 6, 7, or even 8 figures, you're going to want to pay close attention here because I'm going to reveal the exact same strategies I've used to grow multiple profitable businesses, as well as the strategies I advise my clients and my students to use to help them grow their business, make more money, and make a bigger impact. All right, let's get to it. Hey there, my name is Erhart, marketing strategist, and welcome to the channel, the #1 place for entrepreneurs to learn proven marketing strategies to grow their business online. Alright, so the very first thing we need to talk about is a term called deal flow. Now, deal flow is a venture capital term, but I like the sound of it here because it pretty much exactly describes what we're after, which is a steady and consistent flow of deals, in this case leads, clients, sales, into your business. Essentially, one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest hindrances to growing your business is a lack of deal flow. It's a lack of people knowing about you, knowing about your business, and then choosing to do business with you. Essentially, we could call this a lack of leads, or a lack of appointments, or a lack of sales calls, or even just a straight up lack of sales. And the solution is to increase deal flow and to increase the opportunities you have to get your business in front of potential prospects and clients and customers. When I take a look at a business, the vast majority of the time, if the business isn't growing, it's simply because of a lack of deal flow. Essentially, not enough people know about the business, and therefore, how are they going to buy from them if they don't even know they exist? And this is why marketing is the single most important element to your business's success, because it's marketing's job to get you that deal flow, to put you in front of ideal clients, ideal customers, so that they can know about you, they can like you, they can trust you, and they can ultimately buy from you. In fact, after nearly a decade of coaching and consulting and mentoring and growing businesses, I can confidently say that if your business is doing anything less than a few $1,000,000 a year, the biggest issue is most likely marketing, or a lack thereof. And when I'm talking about marketing, I'm talking about a lack thereof. Essentially, you probably need to be doing more marketing. Now, I appreciate saying do more marketing is a pretty vague and general concept, so let me break it down further with the next point and one of the top kinds of marketing you can be doing if you want to grow your business, and that is creating long-form content. Now, like I've already said, the goal of marketing is to get someone to know you, to like you, and trust you so they can ultimately buy from you. But step 1 is getting them to know about you because they can't buy from you if they don't even know you exist. So ask yourself this question: is everybody who could buy from you, all of your potential prospects, your potential customers, do they all know you exist? Because if the answer is no, then you need to do more marketing so you can get in front of them, to even introduce yourself, to give yourself that chance of ever converting them into a client or customer. Well, once that step is done, once you've introduced yourself, the next step is to get somebody to like you and to trust you. Because ultimately, especially if you're dealing with something with a higher lifetime customer value or something more transactional than, say, just selling a stick of gum, well, they're probably going to need to trust you in some way, shape, or form in order to hand over their hard-earned dollars in exchange for whatever product or service you're delivering. Well, the best way to earn that trust is to essentially show that you're a trustworthy person who knows what you're talking about, is credible, has authority, expertise in the subject, and probably most importantly of all, is actually capable of helping them solve the problem that they have. And this is where long-form content shines. Now, when I'm talking about long-form content, I'm talking about any kind of content that someone would consume that's around 5 minutes or longer. So we'll say 5 minutes, upwards of an hour. Now, you might be asking, do people actually consume content for more than 5 minutes, all the way up to an hour? And the answer, of course, is yes. What you really want to do here is think about how people consume YouTube videos or podcasts. Perfect examples of somebody watching one or multiple YouTube videos or listening to podcasts for 25 minutes, 60 minutes. In fact, some podcasts are multiple hours long and they still get consumed. The beauty of long-form content is that it allows you a tremendous opportunity to build trust and build rapport and to tell stories and to connect with someone way better and way more effectively than you can through a short social media post or a tweet or anything like that that's consumed in anywhere from 3 seconds to 15 seconds at best. Now, when it comes to long-form content and which one's going to be best for your business, there's 2 types that I want to point you in that I kind of mentioned already. One of which is YouTube and the other is a podcast. And it's my firm belief that every business should have at least one, if not both of these, deployed into their business. Either a YouTube channel with a steady and consistent supply of videos or a podcast with regular podcast episodes. Now, if you're torn between the two and you really don't know which one's going to be best, I'm going to give you a pretty strong push in the direction of a YouTube channel. Simply because next to being face-to-face and in person, there's no better form of communication and persuasion and influence then video. This is because video really allows you to communicate through voice, through seeing body language, through essentially feeling like you're there, right there with the person, which is far more than you can do with text and even more than you can do with just audio alone. Not to mention, when you create videos for YouTube, you can syndicate them by splicing them up, you can rip the audio away, and now you do have a podcast from it anyways. You can take that audio and you can transcribe it into text, which now becomes social media posts. You really just have a whole lot of flexibility to make your content go that much further. Now, I appreciate that may sound like a little bit of work, and granted it is, which leads me to my next tip on how to grow a business. You're probably going to need some kind of help and some kind of support. And this is where having a team really comes in handy. The reality is, if you want to grow your business, you're going to need help, you're going to need support, and this means hiring other people to help you. Whether we're talking about hiring full-time employees or contractors, it's really going to vary depending on your business and depending on the level of commitment you want to make. But you're probably going to need some help. Again, especially if you want to grow. Now, this should be a pretty easy concept to grasp onto. After all, if you're working, say, a 40-hour work week, well, if you hire another person, your work capacity just went up to 80 hours a week. You hire another one, you're at 120 hours a week of output. Another person, 160 hours a week, and it only grows from there. The point of this is not to show off my amazing math skills, but rather to highlight the value and the importance of getting other people to help you. This was a huge light bulb moment for me when I was trying to grow my business. I was working 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, and basically burned completely out, maximizing everything I could do and trying to squeeze any last ounce of productivity from myself that I could. Which in hindsight, when you're working 16 hours a day, you're not that productive. Long story short, I was tired, I was exhausted actually, overworked, way overwhelmed, and I was stuck, and my business wasn't growing. Not to mention, I was doing a ton of damage to my relationships and to my family and to my friends, who I ignored and basically never saw in favor of trying to work and trying to grow the business. Working hard? Yes. Working smart? Not even close. Basically, I needed to find a solution, and I needed to find one fast. Fortunately, that was around the same time that I heard a story of a man who got really sick, and his doctors told him that he needed to really cut back on work, and in fact, he was only going to be able to work 1 hour a day at most. Now, for most people, this would completely shut down their businesses, but he posed a bit of a thought experiment with himself, and he said, if I could only work 1 hour a day and I still wanted to maintain my revenue or even grow my business, what would I need to do? And it was in this powerful moment, this powerful thought experiment, that really changed everything for me and started allowing me to think more objectively and creatively about what kind of solutions I could do. And one of the obvious things was that I needed to get help. And in my case, this meant hiring a team and delegating and offloading some of the work that I was doing that I really shouldn't have been doing anyways. And magically, maybe not so magically, my business actually started to grow a lot. Of course, I work way more than an hour a day, but now I do it because I love it, rather than being absolutely forced to grind out hour after hour, basically just grinding myself into a pulp, which again, not that effective. Now, if you've never hired someone to help you before, this is the best place to start. Essentially, hiring someone to take care of one of 3 different things for you. The first thing is to offload anything that you hate. For me, the first logical hire was someone to help me with bookkeeping and accounting and taxes. This was something I hated. Unsurprisingly, this was also something I wasn't very good at, so it was an easy task to offload and get some help with. In fact, this task actually met our second criteria as well, which is offloading things that you're not good at. So the first thing is to get rid of all the stuff you hate that just drains your energy. The second thing is to offload things you're not good at, because odds are good there's someone that's better at them than you are, and they can help. And then the third thing is things that are not in your unique zone of genius, your unique area of expertise. You're probably really, really good at 1, 2, 3, maybe even 10 different things, but not 100 things. And this is where it's really important to laser focus in on those 1, 2, or 3 things that you excel at and focus most of your time and energy on those and delegate everything else. That alone will allow your business to grow exponentially. Okay, so now that we've hit a pretty high-level business concept, let's circle back to a more strategic or more tactical marketing element that I call the 5% rule. It was using the 5% rule that allowed me to grow my first businesses initially when I really didn't have a whole lot of extra cash flow or revenue coming in. And essentially, the 5% rule says to raise your prices by 5%, to take that additional 5% of revenue and to reinvest it directly into your marketing. Now here's the kicker. This additional 5% is really only meant as kind of a gateway drug into the world of marketing, to really tease you with the potential of what's truly possible. things that you'll never really realize unless you take that leap and start investing more into your marketing. And that's why I think 5% is a pretty easy place to start. Ideally, I'd push you to 10 or 20%, but it's going to vary and it's going to be really nuanced depending on your market and your industry and your business. Anyway, the goal of this additional 5% spend on marketing is to try to find and try to unlock the perfect marketing channel for you. Because once you do, and once you realize that you're able to put in $1 and get $2 out, well, that 5% will become essentially as big as you possibly can get it. Because why would you not do as much as you can of putting in $1 and getting 2 out? That's a rhetorical question. Obviously, you want to do as much as you can. A good marketing strategy is really like stumbling across a slot machine that just keeps paying out time after time. So really, you want to do that until the money stops paying out. This is one of the biggest keys to my early success and to growing my first few businesses. Essentially, when I first got going, I really didn't have a whole lot of extra revenue and cash flow. So I was investing as little as $5 a day into my marketing and into running different ads. And looking back, I remember my family thinking I was crazy. Why was I wasting all of this money? Granted, it was only $5 a day, but still, why was I wasting it on videos and marketing and ads and all of these things that nobody really understood, but that I had faith in? Well, the critics went silent when the clients started coming in, and that $5 turned to $50. Then to $500 and up from there. Essentially, I'd stumbled across this magic well where I could just put in $1 and get 2 out. And so naturally, that became an obsession almost of trying to crack the code of different marketing channels and how to turn them into profitable money-making machines. I get that sounds totally hypey, totally internet marketing-y, but the reality is that it's very much practical, and they've been doing it for hundreds of years. That's really what the principles and the fundamentals of marketing are all about. But probably the most important element of this all was really the habit of continually investing in my marketing and prioritizing it above all other things. Essentially knowing that marketing is the single most important element to business success because it's marketing's job to bring in clients and customers. Without clients and customers, you don't have a business, so you better be prioritizing marketing. If you've never done it before, 5% rule is a great place to start, but the key is you need to start now. Today. The first thing to do is decide if you have more time or more money. If you're first getting started in your business journey, you're going to have more time. And that's fine because you're going to be able to take on more tasks yourself and then just put a tiny amount of your revenue towards your marketing. On the other hand, if you're more experienced and you have significantly more money than you do time, well then you're going to be able to outsource and to delegate and to hire team members to help you with that and put more money behind it rather than your own personal time. Regardless though of whether you're investing time or money, it is important that you build your strategy on proven marketing fundamentals, which is my next tip to really grow your business. Now I appreciate I've said this before a whole lot of times, even in this video, but that's because it really is that important. Marketing is the single most important element to your business's success. So you really do need to spend some time and some energy, probably some money, investing in your marketing education to really understand consumer behavior, psychology, what makes people buy, what makes people not buy, so you can design your marketing accordingly to help you truly grow your business. I can sit here all day and give you hacks and tricks and tactics like produce organic YouTube videos and maybe run YouTube ads against your organic audience and use retargeting and email marketing and all of those things. But unless they're built on proven marketing fundamentals, none of it's going to work. This is why the next thing that you're going to want to do is check out the video I have linked up right here on Introduction to Marketing. So make sure to check that out now, and I'll see you in the next episode. What exactly is the nature of marketing? Which sounds like some kind of documentary. The nature of marketing. On this week's episode of The Nature of Marketing,